Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You remember shortly after the war in Ukraine began and Mohammed bin Salman in Saudi Arabia wasn't answering the phone when Joe Biden would call him, and UAE was also ignoring him. And now Joe Biden has gone to Saudi Arabia to ask for more oil. Well, how do you think that went? Joe Biden wanted Mohammed bin Salman to increase oil production in Saudi Arabia so that they could send more oil to the West. He said, no, I'm not going to increase production, but what I'll do is increase exports to you guys. And how I'll be able to do that without increasing production here is, I'll increase imports from Russia. That's a badass move. And you know, when the reporters were asking at the press conference with Mohammed bin Salman, what about Jamal Khashoggi? And he just sort of smirked and didn't answer. You know why? Because he was already giving an answer via the United Arab Emirates, where they were arresting the lawyer of Khashoggi. Now, I'm not approving of any of that. There's no doubt that the case against Asim Ghafoor is a political case. It's a vendetta case. It's a vindictive case against not just the associates of Khashoggi, but against anyone who is sort of a critic and a reformer and calling for democracy and whatnot in the Middle East and in the Gulf. There's no doubt about that. It's a fabricated case, most likely. However, what it shows you is the power and independence and defiance of the Gulf countries, of Saudi Arabia and of Dubai, of the UAE, where they're now not taking dictation from the West. Doesn't mean that they're going to always do the right thing. Doesn't mean that they're going to necessarily be good or do moral things or do things for Islam. But the point is, they are getting the yoke of Western control off of the necks of the Gulf. That's significant, and that's something that can be built upon in the future by future generations who are better people than people like Mohammed bin Salman and Mohammed bin Zayed in the UAE. They're playing a long game here. They're achieving a level of political and economic independence for the Khalij. And that is, in the long term, for the benefit of the Muslims, whether you like those leaders or not, whether I like those leaders or not. They are achieving a level of independence that we haven't seen from the Gulf in a very, very long time. Yallah, Assalamu alaikum.